What was the creepiest thing your teacher did? High school pet teacher liked putting his hands on his students. IDK about the football players, but the rest of us were uncomfortable with it. During class while we were taking a break, I was talking to friends and he grabbed my shoulders and was squeezing them. I removed his hand and he yelled at my friends and me to get back to working out. For the next few weeks he would single us out to do extra work until we complained to the principal. He ignored us the rest of the year, which was fine by us. Joe Biden was your pet teacher? Now drop down and give me 20 push. Push. The pushy things with your hands, you know? Seems like this thread is 99% sexual. But I had a librarian who kept the library full of fake plastic plants. She would water them all daily and talk/sing to them. If you had a work to tell in the library for punishment, one of the things you would be expected to do was help water the plants. This comment is so underrated. My teacher showered 6 times in one night on a residential trip when I was 10 as an excuse to walk around naked. Homeschooling is weird. Roll Tide. Had an affair with a 15-year-old student. She moved schools and he kept his job. What in the? How's that, ya think? Had a professor in college that would constantly bump into me in the halls after waiting outside my classes, send me personal emails, knock on the glass windows next to the doors of other classes to wave at me, and ask me out to study sessions all the time. He wasn't even my professor at any point in time. Ever. He came in on the first day thinking our class was his for about 10 minutes before figuring it out. That was the closest he ever got to being my teacher. Final straw. One day I left class early to go see some dance competition that was going on. Stayed for about 20 minutes and was heading out. Got to my car when an email came in. Are you still at the dance thing? Nope. Nope. Run bitch run. We had an English teacher from France who used to wear a short skirt and no underwear and would spend the whole class crossing and uncrossing her legs. I could still pick her vag out in a lineup, and this was 30 years ago. We had an Indian teacher who taught French and English, but she was severely overweight and didn't wear short skirts. I feel for you, bro. 3rd grade teacher filled a bucket of water and pushed a student's head in the bucket, causing a sensation of drowning. That's not a sensation of drowning. That's the beginning of actual drowning. Mr. Babbage was a violent individual. Borderline sadist. Would be jailed for stuff like this nowadays. I had a teacher who used to drop the whiteboard marker at least once per lesson. I'm sure he used the chance to try to look up skirts while he was picking it up. Everyone knew about it. Wait, was he doing it or dropping it? Sorry, dropping. I fixed it up. He took in a girl in my class to live in his house with him and his wife, and then after graduation divorced his wife and married said girl. This was during high school, so she was probably 16 when she moved in, and he was in his 50s. The girl had a rough family life, so he posed it as some sort of charitable act, but that was quickly called into question when they started dating publicly. He was later fired for something similar that had happened years before with a young student, but that relationship never panned out. He didn't happen to kill his wife, did he? Sounds like an Australian case that is just going through the courts. The Teacher's Pet podcast is amazing. It's only creepy in hindsight, but still pretty creepy. In year 7, age 11 to 12, we had an ed teacher who always called us petal, flower and sausage, depending on gender. Girls were petals and flowers. Boys were sausages. He also touched us a lot. Touched us on the shoulders, arms, things like that. I don't remember if he ever touched our legs or not. As a young kid I thought nothing of it. I just thought he was a bit weird and overly friendly. That's the beauty of being a kid. Stuff like that just doesn't faze you because you have no idea how creepy it actually is. He was eventually fired after the school network admins discovered a bunch of child porn in his profile folder. Now this is the bit that confuses me. He was an ed teacher. Surely he would have been smart enough not to keep child porn on the school network. But apparently not. This was like 1998, so I don't know what happened to him in the end. Or if there even were laws about internet child porn at that point. But probably so. Worst part is he wasn't the only pedophile teacher my school had. But I've actually forgotten who the other one was, because he didn't actually do anything to the kids at school, as far as I know. I just found out years later. My school had some fantastic teachers too. To balance it out a bit, I cannot blame the school itself. Pedophiles can easily go undetected with no criminal record, etc. Hello fellow 32 over 33-year-old. Well, in my school we had a librarian go to jail for statutory rape of an 11th grader, a geography teacher, and local pastor, JV volleyball coach, who was constantly looking down the girls' shirts, accidentally show an anal porn video to the entire Students Against Destructive Decisions Club in the auditorium, tried to blame his son, a pet teacher, and JV girls basketball coach who would invite the basketball team to his house for sleepovers, and would then jerk off onto their faces while they slept. He did so many times, until a girl came forward, and bonus youth leader involved in school activities who was caught with a treasure trove of child pornography he shared with his son. Is this some secret pedo academy? My little sister took ceramics her freshman year high school. They had to do some project and she wanted to look on Google for some references. She went to ask her teacher if she could use his computer, and she saw that he had a computer folder open that was full of pictures of her. What the duck? She was like, why the hell do you have pictures of me on your computer? And he came out with some bullshit. So she told my mom when she got home. My mom called the school about it, and he denied everything. And the school did nothing about it. So my mom called him personally and threatened the duck out of him. IDK what she said, but he definitely left her completely alone the rest of the semester. Told a female student she needed to go to the office and put a bra on because he was distracted by her. She was wearing a hoodie, nothing was showing. Teacher was staring at her chest. My boyfriend often recounts a story of the fact that a girl in his class once got written up for a uniform violation because she had on a black bra which was clearly visible under her uniform blouse. She was asked to put on her sweater to cover it up, but complained that it was too hot to do so. So the male teacher who had written her up without even hesitating said, well then you'll have to take your bra off and come and collect it from me at the end of the day. Jesus Christ, what a creep. When I was in 8th grade, I was sitting by my friend and my teacher noticed this. At the end of the day, he came up to me with a creepy smile and gave me a shoulder rub, whispering in my ear, you're not focused in my class, so I'm gonna get you focused with a shoulder rub, paraphrasing. I was freaking out in my mind. Jesus. Yuck. I had a teacher massage my hands with lotion while reciting Chinese proverbs, but the most I can say was that it was weird. I can't even imagine how I'd react if a teacher rubbed my shoulders. You need to tell this story, please. I can't sleep. Substitute math teacher in high school. All girls Catholic school. He showed us porn on the data projector screen from his laptop. But before that, I asked him for help with calculating parabolas and other quadratic equations. He didn't know how to do it apparently, and as he was saying I'm not too sure, he stretched his arms down to lean on my desk, and I could see that he was trying to conceal a boner. He would always be extra friendly towards me as well, which I thought I was just being paranoid about. But he would come by my desk during class a lot, call my name to come to the whiteboard, offer me extra help during lunch or after class, which I didn't need in the slightest and didn't take up, chat with me in the mornings when he would arrive on campus, and yeah, I realized it was more often than not. We got him fired though. The mother of one of my girlfriends put in a complaint about the porn situation above, and a couple of other mothers came forward as well about it. Not to mention he was a useless math teacher anyway. He really didn't know what he was doing. All he'd do was doodle on the whiteboard, stare at his laptop, and lurk the classroom. The hod for religious studies also got fired. Rumors went about that he was acting inappropriately towards girls in his class. Apparently he would drop markers and pens etc and demand the girls to pick them up in front of him. He'd look up their skirts while they were bent over, all while he'd walk around school acting holier than thou. Lovely. Jesus Christ, what people hire these suckers. All girls Catholic school. Like-minded perverts. I had a teacher in middle school who would leave the classroom door propped open 24/7 so he could see the holes from the whiteboard. Without fail, any time a cute middle school girl would walk by, he would literally stop lecturing to stare at her when she walked by. He was also the baseball coach and got fired a few months after I finished his class because he was harassing the players, making fun of them for dating ugly girls or giving them props for dating cute girls. Total creep. Creepy as hell. We had a high school science teacher. Giant guy. Probably 6'6", 300 lbs. When my friend and 16-year-old girl classmate fell asleep with her head on the desk, he walked over, giant tongue out, and licked her face. Chin to ear. 45-year-old teacher straight licked a girl. When he got to her ear, she woke up, very disturbed. Teacher got a stern talking to. Nothing else happened to him. EWWWW. Not creepy, but IDK, where else to put this? A tiny backstory. This teacher is Asian. So, a while ago, an email was sent out by him saying, "Welcome to the Wu-Tang Clan. Mess with my friends, I'll kill you. Mess with my family, I'll kill you." He is currently under investigation for death threats. That's funny. He's one of the better teachers at the school. He lets his students go out and protest during class, and if they show him proof that they participated, they get points back. My art teacher was humping the desks to see how sturdy the buildings were. I'll admit, I'm a tad confused. I'll admit, I'm a tad aroused. My science teacher offered after school help. He had a special table where he could sit across from you, where he could easily run his hand up your leg. He also told us many times that deodorant was just a big pharma product and that he would never use it. All the girls at my school knew about it and laughed about it. Always thought this was so weird. There was an advanced math teacher in my all-girls Catholic high school who had a daughter who attended the school. When she got to the point where she was in his class, she didn't want to address him by Mr. Insert last name here because it felt awkward, so she just kept calling him dad or daddy. Not a huge deal at first. Kids are weird. So it became a trend apparently for that whole class to refer to him as daddy after a while, to kind of lightheartedly make fun of the girl and her situation. A normal, responsible guy would shut that down. Of course. Even if it was a weird joke, he should be aware and make them aware in turn that it was inappropriate and gave off terrible optics. This teacher was not a guy normal, nor responsible. He not only allowed them to continue doing it, but actively encouraged it by jokingly refusing to answer to girls who didn't call him by his proper title, i.e. daddy. I was older than the daughter by a couple of years, but knew some younger girls in the class who told me they were super uncomfortable because of how much he seemed to enjoy it. The only thing he told them about it was that they shouldn't let administrators or other students hear them call him that, / they couldn't do it outside of class because people wouldn't understand. We understood perfectly. Yusiko, TL, Doctor, had a high school math teacher that forced 15-year-olds to call him daddy. Ugh, I don't know exactly why, but this story has freaked me out the most so far. Yeah, it's peak gross and made me feel really scared for some of those girls. / Male teacher who had assigned seats and put all the hot girls in the first row. It was not normal for teachers to assign seats in my high school, but it was allowed, and he took advantage of it. This was a Catholic school where girls would often wear skirts instead of pants as part of the dress code. Actually, I'm a teacher myself, and I want to talk about something I saw another teacher doing. I was teaching primary school in China and walked past a classroom and saw a teacher with a girl about 8 sitting in his lap while he stroked her hair with his hand. The rest of the class was doing exercises on the board. Shocked me when I saw it, and I did not know what to do because this is a foreign country. In the end, I told the headmaster. He was gone a month later, but I don't know if it was related. A teacher married a student, got divorced 20 years later, then hooked up with another student. These kind of stories remind me of French President Emmanuel Macron. Teacher, who was a 70-year-old priest, brushed some lint off my 15-year-old friend's butt, then said she had some more on there, and leaned in to try again. Always the priest. Told me I had the perfect sized boobs. Eek. What a compliment. A creepy compliment. Yes. I felt so violated. I remember always wearing a big sweater to his classes. I was in grade 8. As a treat for being a good class, my high school economics teacher turned off the lights, used a dry erase marker as a microphone, and sang Truly, Madly, Deeply by Savage Garden. Op asked for creepiest, not most heartfelt. Does it make it creepier if I tell you that like 2 years later he got arrested for choking out one, if the female teachers smacked me on the ass in front of another student? In 8th grade my female drama teacher used to do this to all her male students. It wasn't hard like a spank. It was sort of more of a good job pat on the ass, like showing affection to your dog for good behavior. All the other guys seemed to think it was funny and were unfazed by it. It made me a little uncomfortable though. I never witnessed her touch any of my female classmates like that. She'd playfully punch their shoulder or grab their arm with the same sentiment, but would only give friendly ass pats to the guys. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.